Hi again. This is Caitlin. And it's been a while since I last posted a video. And that's just, it was hard to know what to say next, what to share next. And actually, a couple days ago, I had a very serious panic attack at work, and I realized that that was something I needed to work through, and so I decided to share it. And then it was a couple days ago, and I tried making a video then, but I don't know. It's still hard. No one ever said any of this was easy, so anyway, so yeah, I had this pretty bad panic attack at work. I came into work at 11, and I immediately knew something was wrong, or at least I felt like something was wrong, which is kind of the whole point. And I was very sweaty and hot and anxious and looking around, and like I felt like something was there, and like I was almost paranoid in a way. And I know that, like, I keep looking up, and that's not a good angle for anyone watching me, but like I don't like to make eye contact when I'm nervous or when I'm talking about things that make me, uncomfortable, things like that. But I'll work on it, promise. Anyway, so my coworker, I was trying to like stay away from people because I knew something was like going on with me. And so she had her station, and there was a station next to her, and then there was a station next to that. So I went to the third station over, and she had this little fan near her that is always there, like at work, and it was hot that day anyway, so she had it running. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just like hot, and let's." And she's like, "Well, come over here by my fan." And I was like, "Okay, maybe if I cool down, maybe like if being next to somebody, maybe it'll help." Um, the fan helped a little bit with the heat issue, but I was still really nervous, and I could feel it like building. I could feel it getting worse, and honestly, I think the fact that it was at work and it was getting worse was my tipping point, because I remember thinking in my head, like, not here. Please, not here. I don't want to do this here. And because to me, work, you leave all of your emotions, you check them at the door. Your personal beliefs, your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, you leave all that crap at the door, because when you're at work and you're working for someone else, and you're working with customers all day, you have to just smile and move on and understand that they might be blabbering on about something that they believe in and you don't agree with or whatever else, but that is not the point of you being there. You're not there to start political arguments with customers or anything like that. You're just meant to do your job. So I just, try to do my best to just do my job. And part of that for me is leaving everything else at the door. I can't bring in my family stuff. I can't bring up my anger or my arguments or things like that. It's not the place for it. So, yeah. And I just remember thinking, not here, not again. And that, I think, was the tipping point for me. I started bawling right there in public. Thankfully, where I work, they're not like super big on offices, so they have like an office, but it's a shared office right up at the front where I work. And I work in retail, obviously. I'm a cashier, you know. But there's an office like right near where my stations are, like where the stations are, and it's an open like shared office, so like a lot of different managers use that office all day. And so the door was open, and you are allowed to go in there and like ask a manager to come and talk with you and stuff. Like, you can do that. like if you need to talk to them, you guys can go have a space, or if you need a minute or whatever. And I needed a minute, except that minute wasn't just like, I ran to that room and I closed the door behind me and I crawled behind a chair. And I kept my eyes fixed on that door, like something terrible was gonna come through. I was just so scared. And I didn't really know why. It just felt like something bad. And I called my husband, and because I knew he was working as well. We work at the same place. He works in delivery though. So I wasn't expecting him to actually be in the building. I was expecting him to be on his truck, driving to locations and delivering things. And thankfully, he happened to be at the docks and, unloading and loading stuff for some like additional deliveries or something. And so he was able to run to the front and stay with me for a while. And before he got there, I remember one of the head cashiers coming actually to the office and like unlocking the door and like letting himself in a little bit, but being so scared and realizing how terrified I was, just kind of standing guard at the door. He didn't like do anything. He just kind of, walked himself back out and closed the door and just stood there. And I knew he was there guarding the door, but at the same time, I don't know really what he was doing. I know he had a phone in his hand. I wonder if maybe he was the one who called my manager over. But the whole time I was already on the phone with Daniel, needing him to be there. I needed him to be there. And so he ran to the front and my head cashier let him in. And he sat with me and he held me. And he helped me get better. It was really rough. Trying to calm down, trying to relax. He helped immensely. But even by the time that like my manager got there, my manager like walked in and just kind of sat down and didn't really say a whole lot. He's like, "Do you need something to drink?" He got me a drink. "Do you need, something else? Do you want to sit down?" Eventually I did actually get into the chair that I was hiding behind. And I sat in the chair, and then my manager just kind of gave us some space. He left the room. He said he was going to go on lunch anyway, so he would be out for a while. Just, take your time, come back when you're ready. He was very good about it, thank goodness. But that's also because my manager had helped me with my first panic attack at work, actually. And I think he understands better than most people what I'm going through. I know that he has said before that he doesn't have these issues, but he knows his wife has some issues. But he said that his wife has some issues similar to mine, and so maybe he understands in a way, but I don't know really what he understands or doesn't. I just know that he's really good about being understanding. And so when I texted him to let him know that I would be leaving, he said, "That's fine. Feel better. See you the next day." That's cool. You don't always get that. And I'm very blessed to be at a job with a manager that is like that. That's really understanding. The sad thing about where I work, though, is that the system that is in place there isn't as, caring and understanding. It's very much like everyone has to be the same and everyone gets the same amount of strikes regardless of reason, blah, blah, blah. And we can discuss that at a later date. Right now, I guess I just wanted to talk about that instance and everything that happened. And I think the biggest thing I want to talk to with other people about is the fact that I was hesitant to leave that room, not because, after I calmed down, I was hesitant to leave, not because I was still scared. I was still kind of shaken, but for the most part, I was embarrassed. It's so hard for me to not feel absolutely embarrassed when you're a grown woman and it's like you're afraid of nothing and you have to run and hide. And the intelligent part of my brain says, don't be embarrassed. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. You did nothing wrong. That there's no reason for you to be embarrassed about having mental health issues, about having panic attacks and anxiety. But at the same time, just because I know I shouldn't be embarrassed doesn't mean that I'm not. And today actually was my first day back since then. It was a couple days ago, and I had 2 days off in between. Well, I had the day that I worked, and then I had a day off after that, and I didn't stay for the rest of that day that I worked. So kind of 2 days in a way. Anyway, so I went back today, and I was really afraid that everyone would be like, what happened? What was wrong with you? And have all these intruding questions and want to know, I don't like to share all that with everyone. I share it with you guys because I guess you have to be searching to find me on YouTube. You have to be searching and looking for things about depression and PTSD and anxiety. You don't just, stumble upon this. Honestly, no one's even watched the last video up as of right now. And, maybe one day someone will, but so far, no. But no one's gonna find this by accident. And that means to me that they're looking for answers and they're looking for a friend. And I would be willing to share, information to someone who needs help and needs a friend or just someone who understands. But at work, those people are just there asking questions because they don't know what happened and they don't understand. And yeah, I think in a way it'd be good for me to explain things to them, but at the same time, I can't guarantee that they'll understand, and I can't guarantee that I'll make them understand, and I can't guarantee that they will receive it well. And that is a place that I have to go to all the time and work with those people. So I guess in a selfish way to guard myself, I don't tell them about everything. It's just not something I feel comfortable doing, and maybe one day I will, but it's just not today. And yeah. Anyway, that happened. In the next few videos, I think I'm going to talk more about probably my family, some of my past, maybe some things in my past, and maybe some recent incidences and things like that have happened. But as of right now, I'm just kind of going for it and seeing what happens day to day and moving with that. If you guys have any suggestions or, want to just start a conversation or have any I just said that. If you have any suggestions or want to say anything or, just want to say hey and that you're a friend, or hey, you need a friend, I'm here, and that's cool. Just say something in the comments and I'll hit you up. Thanks.